everyone. So this is what you get tonight because I just got back from protesting. It's been a great day. I'm wind whipped, my hair's everywhere, and I don't care because it was a fantastic day. Anyhow, I want to encourage my fellow Canadians to get out on the picket lines, get protesting. We are protesting the carbon tax. And if you don't think it's a big deal, you better start to wake up. I'm going to talk more and share more about this after these few messages. Oh, hi. What am I doing? Oh, I'm just checking the maintenance on my indoor garden. Yeah, I have a hydroponic system here. I actually started doing this a few years ago when I started seeing the shelves at the grocery store going bare. And I was worried about how I was going to feed my family. So here I am. I'm starting another crop and it's actually, I'm pretty amazed. It's doing great. It's just a few days since, maybe less than a week since I put it into my system. But you know what? I have been so excited about this new hobby of mine that I decided to write a book. Check it out here. Anyone can start a garden indoors and they can run it year round and feed their family from it. This unit here, I actually got from Amazon. But I have built my own and everything. And in this book, I talk about the different types of systems. And I even have a few samples on how to build your own. So check out this book here. It talks about a lot of different things, how to get started, basically just the initial things you need to know as a beginner gardener. I invite you to check it out. You can get a hold of it in either paper or digital. This is the research that I've compiled to help me get started, and I wanted to put it into one quick place for you guys to get going. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, when I'm having a real bad day, I like to open up the Vibe Resonate Wellness app. I can always find something that just help me get through that day. Now, whether it's an emotional drain that I've had or be back on track. The Vibe Resonate Wellness Hub has everything you need to get you back and on track. So what is it? Well, let's take a look here. Now we have stuff for emotional upset. We have stuff for even couples work. We have frequency therapy. We have holistic health recipes, nutritional stuff in there. We even have podcasts on topics that everyone wants to know about, whether it's news or we even have research in there. This is a central hub where you can come and find everything you need to get through. The best thing about it is it has both free and paid versions. But here's the cool thing. The paid version, you only have to pay $20 Canadian a month. And best of all Pro version members of the app get 33% off on any professional care they may need. Check out this link and install the app and see what you think. See you inside. Okay, so yeah, I was out protesting and I gotta show you something. I don't know if you can see this, and it's probably backwards for you, but it says carbon tax scam. And I'm going to show you the back side of this thing. Okay, here guys, this is the back of my sweater. So I didn't want to have to get up, so I just had my hubby snap a picture of it, and that's the back one. Isn't that cute? You are the carbon they want to reduce. So I'm going to give you the contact information of the lady who makes these. And yeah, it's probably one of my most favorite bunny hugs. Yep, I'm Saskatchewanite. I call them bunny hugs. So there you go. I picked this up from a wonderful lady at Lloydminster today. I was protesting at Lloydminster, and this wonderful lady actually doesn't live very far south of me. Kind of cool how we never run into each other in this area, and we met what, 3.5 hours away, 4 hours away, something like that. Awesome, guys. So it is the best. Anyhow, I want to encourage you guys all to go out. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are pro climate change, pro everything else, but I'm going to say there is science out there that refutes all this. It's a big money-making scam, and that's why we have this. If anyone is following the eugenics movement and they understand what eugenics is, they will get this. For those who don't, you need to go to Tubi, and I hope it's still on there, but even just look up, if you don't find it on Tubi, look it up. There is a documentary from, I think it's called From Eugenics to Pandemic. And it goes over the last 100 years of the eugenic movement and how this whole climate change now, and you can relate into this climate change and how it is related to, everything's connected to that eugenics movement, from the pandemic, from the climate change, from everything. And that's what the back of my shirt actually means. They are trying to reduce you. They're trying to call in the human race. What's call mean? Someone actually asked me that the other day. You know, when you call the old cows, you get rid of the old cows, you butcher them, you get rid of them, you call them. Well, they're trying to call the human race. Sorry, I'm probably going to get a few head bashes and a few nasty comments for that, but that's basically true. And this carbon tax, like, come on, people, give me a break. How is carbon tax going to reduce carbon? It's not. It has nothing. It's not even connected. It's a scam, guys. And it started out back in, what, 2019? I think that's when it started. It started at about, I think, $20 a ton here in Canada. I think Canada's still the only country that's charging a carbon tax. Like, really, guys. It started at $20 a ton, and they've been increasing it regularly, pretty much every year. And now it's at $85 a ton. It just went up another $15 a ton. And I've heard, although I can't verify this, that it's going up again, and I don't know how much, by July. So it could be another tax being added on, I don't know. And then we hear in Toronto that they want to put a rain tax on. Like, excuse me? Aren't we taxed enough? I mean, in Canada, if you make enough money, you know, there's tax brackets. In Canada, if you make enough money, you're at like 48% taxes. You know, you work and work and work, and half your money goes to the government. Why are we working? You know, that's what they want. They want us to settle for a universal wage or a universal stipend that they're going to give us to live off of, which is crazy. I just watched a really good movie, and I don't know the title of it, but it's about climate, and I am going to put it in the app, so do watch for it. It's going to be under the environment section, which is a brand new section that I put in. Now you're wondering, what is this to do with health? When it comes to money and taxes, it puts and the ability to not be able to eat because the taxes are too high. And that's basically what's happening. The goal, I think, by 2030 is to have $180 a ton or something like that. I'm not sure the exact amount, but that is JT's goal. And for you fellow Canadians, you know who I'm talking about when I say JT, who has the initials JT. I'm going to actually show you my husband's picket sign, a picture of it, shortly. We had JT on there. Here are some of the things I have heard over the last few weeks. Now, for those of you that did not know, there was a protest going on in Canada. It is Canada-wide. Now, it's not going to be condensed down in Ottawa, although I believe today there was permits down on Parliament Hill, and they were actually doing some protesting down on Parliament Hill, which good for them, but there's no trucks or anything down there. What we've been having is in the interprovincial borders, and it's been building as it's been going, but you know, mainly along the number 1 highway, and I think I can't remember what the highway number is in Ontario. It's been a long time since I drove down there. Possibly 11, but don't quote me on that. Generally, they have been at the interprovincial borders. Last weekend, we went to the Fleming-Kirkella one, so that's Saskatchewan-Manitoba border on the number one. Then this weekend, we chose to go to Lloyd. Now, I think there's another one down on the other end too. There's also some in Saskatchewan, like at Chaplin and Moose Jaw, and there has been stuff at various places. There is one down by Cochrane. I think it's number one in Highway 22, something like that. Go to the Nationwide Protest group on Facebook, and you can get into the groups and learn, and like it's a group, and then you can get into the group chats, and you can find tons of stuff in there, where to go and what to do. And yes, the big thing is people are saying that they didn't know it was going on. Yes, it's been going on. If you're not traveling, you really don't have any excuse. Yes, I know CBC, CTV, Global are not covering much of it. They're kind of sloughing it over. A few of them kind of got in there and started covering, doing not too bad a coverage on it, but they did cover it. In a couple places they got chased away, because we all know what they do when they cover. They are dictated by the media payout by JT, and so they only on. So we all know that there is probably not a lot of truth in it, but there is some in it. You can get some coverage. I think Shadow Davis is doing it. Look up the Shadow Davis Show on Facebook. I think he's on Rumble, possibly Twitter. He has been covering it, so he has a lot of podcasts and whatnot available on it. He's a great guy. He actually interviewed me once, so he's a super great guy. He's out of Winnipeg, I believe. I was talking to another podcaster that was actually there at the protest today. I believe his name is Sean Neufeld. Now, I didn't know about him, but I am going to look him up and start following him. So do follow him too. And I think it's SHAUN. I think that's what he told me. Anyways, he came down and he's been interviewing people about it. And he told me he dismissed it and thought it was just going to peter out. Well, it hasn't. We are now on the second weekend. It's been 2 weeks. It started on April 1st, and they are still going strong, guys. So do come and check it out. Some of the common things I'm hearing, well, first of all, before it started, I was following this for probably 2 or 3 weeks before it started. On Facebook. I saw the group when it was maybe 10,000, and it was just climbing. It's now been shadow banned, so if you find it, you're gonna have to find it on your own, because if people share it, they get shut down. But you can still get into it. You can still like and share it, because I went on one of my alternative accounts and I liked it, or I got into it, joined it, and it was fine. But yes, you can still get into the group. It's just you can't really share it, and you'll get shut down, sometimes for just a few hours, sometimes for longer. So I've heard a few people saying that on Facebook. Do find it, but a lot of people are saying that they didn't know existed, mainly because they're following the wrong news. And I'm going to say that outright. My news, people that I am following, on occasion, I might pick up a special interest thing on CTV, CBC, whatever, if it's something that I can stand to watch. I'm gonna actually say that, because I just get so turned off and annoyed and mad at listening to them, because I want to rip them apart, but I can't. But I watch Epic Times. They've got good health stuff on there. They've got good non-biased reporting. And I should say, yeah, they probably slant, and some of them on that do slant a little bit right, but what they will do is they will reach out for quotes on both sides. Now, I value that, because I used to be a reporter probably about 20 years ago. So they still reach out to both sides for a comment and not stick to one side and cherry pick the information they want. They will go and do a roundabout, even though they probably slant a little bit right. I will watch Rebel News to some degree. The True North, I'm a little bit disappointed with True North, because they have not been reporting as much as I'd like them to. but they have reported some. There's been a few people, podcasters, that have given a lot of time to this too. So do check it out. The information is there. It is a peaceful demonstration. It's a peaceful protest, guys. Here's the catch. And it's not really a catch, but it has been a problem. So we have, and maybe a lot of people don't know about this too. It's been widely reported in the alternative media or the private media that the protesters for the pro-Palestinian protesting has been served coffee and donuts by our best, wonderful man, the RCMP, right? And I'm being a little bit sarcastic when I say that. They have literally been recorded bringing donuts to the Palestinian people that are protesting and promoting genocide to the Israelis and wanting to kill them type of thing. And they are bringing coffee and donuts to them. Like, really, people? But you come down to Saskatchewan, and I'm sure there was, I'm only following the Western because it's just too much to follow. And I know the police have caused problems in other areas, but they're really coming down hard on Saskatchewan and Alberta. And people are going, well, why us? Well, it's pretty simple, guys. Who are the rebels? We are out here in Saskatchewan and Alberta. I'm a Saskatchewan girl, but Saskatchewan and Alberta have been the rebels. First of all, way back before the carbon tax was even implemented, I believe it was Brad Wall, and Scott Moe finished it, for sure. They took the federal government to court over the carbon tax. Yeah, JT. They took JT to court, our wonderful PM. They took JT to court. They did lose, but I think a lot of other provinces gave them support over it. So that was the start of it. And Scott Moe and Danielle Smith have been raising a lot of ruckus for him the last year or so, and they're going back to bat with each other, and they are supporting each other. They're going after him, and everything from gender issues to carbon tax issues to you name it. And Scott Moe, what did he do? He quit collecting the carbon tax on heating, home heating. I think mainly just natural gas. I wish it was propane because I heat with propane. And of course that has caused a lot of friction back and forth. So that's part of it. But let's go back to 2022, the beginning of 2022. Where did that wonderful idea for a convoy come out of? But Saskatchewan. Mr. Chris Barber. He's a good old Saskatchewan boy. And he came up with the convoy. And I believe, I've heard, now I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that Tamara Leash, even though she's out in Alberta, she's had ties to Saskatchewan too. But whether she grew up here or not, I can't remember. I did hear something about that somewhere along the line. But yeah, there you go. There's your Alberta, Saskatchewan connection. And of course, Danielle Smith has taken the feds to court on other stuff. Yeah, they're coming down hard on us. It's just a fact. So basically, and I'm going to show some clips here as well in a few minutes. We've had, at some points, they've literally had RCMP lines, like 30 or more RCMP line up in front of the people in front of, and wouldn't allow them to come up to protest. And they literally had, some of them had AR-15s and everything. Last week when I went to the Manitoba-Coquella border, now I could tell you a lot of stories about that, but they're not my stories to tell. They have drones in the air and everything, and I went out there and I've seen the drones. They've got, apparently from the stories, they've got really good facial recognition on it. So obviously my face has been scanned, no big deal. But that for the people that scare you, well, there's not really a whole lot they could do. Yeah, they can see it, but let's just say, okay, don't let that scare you guys, because first of all, Justice Mosley has ruled that the Emergencies Act back in 2022 is illegal. The freezing of the bank accounts, all of that is illegal. JT has to appeal it if he wants it reversed, and I don't know how that's going to go for him. He's already got numerous lawsuits against him because of all the freezing of the bank accounts. But I've also heard that it is illegal for them to enact the Emergencies Act twice in one term. And how is he going to enact it and have enough manpower to go across the entire country? I mean, I'm sorry. The RCMP are complaining that they are so short-staffed and they can't man what they're doing. And yet all of a sudden they have 30 people right there to come in with AR-15s and stand there and blockade everyone. It was just a scare tactic. The run report I've heard from someone is that they don't appear to be real cops. And I've heard that from a few people now. The one guy said, oh yeah, they don't even have the proper uniform, because some of them come in with fancy socks and skinny jeans. That's not a normal uniform. And they don't have name tags or anything on them. In fact, you heard about the hubbub about the livestock officer being one of them out there. Now, I don't know if he was actually an RCMP or not, but apparently his specialty was livestock. I don't know the whole story there. That was out on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border. This is the kind of people they're breeding out. And in fact, I heard a thing out of Lloyd today that one of the liaison officers was telling the head lady there, Miranda, that his officers were offended because they called them Gestapo. Well, they were acting like Gestapo. What can you say? Anyhow, she didn't apologize. And you got to know, I met her. I've seen her on her live streams, but I met her, and oh my gosh, she's a wonderful woman. I love her. She's great. But anyhow, she's my kind of person. She's blunt. She's everything else, you know. Anyhow, but yeah, don't be afraid. Yes, there was a little old lady. I wouldn't say old because she wasn't much older than me. A great grandmother, anyhow, last weekend that was arrested. Now, here's the funny part. She had never protested before. And I was talking to her, I think it was her boyfriend, partner, or whatever, and he was saying all she came to do, she really didn't have much to do with it, but she wanted to spend time with me, so she came out, he said. And because he had been helping with the protest. And she stepped out to take a video or a picture or something 2 feet over the line, which was already probably 10-15 feet back from the road. And she stepped out 2 feet over the line, and they arrested her and charged her with mischief. And she's not allowed to have any contact with the organizer. She's not allowed to step foot on that. And there's a bunch of other things on there too, from what I understand. Anyhow, little old lady has never broken the law. That's not, I don't want to call her old because that means I'm old too. But anyhow, now also, I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, there was someone out picking litter at Lloyd and made 4 or 5 trips, and they were across the line just picking it up, keeping the area clean. And on the 5th one, now I don't understand, or I don't know exactly what happened, but they ended up with a flag in their hand. It sounded like they were arrested for it and charged with mischief, but then I found out later by someone that it was apparently they just got off of the warning. So that's kind of the scare tactics they're doing. You don't have anything to be afraid of when you're there because it is your constitutional right to protest. I did read on the chats that someone got that verified, that it is your right, and through the RCMP, and that they shouldn't be harassing people like that. I had a few weeks ago someone say, well, I don't approve of that kind of behavior. What kind of behavior? And this person and I got in a big argument over what happened down in Ottawa. And it almost made me question it, but I just finally said to them, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. Because they tried to say that the horns honking did not stop the whole 3 weeks. And it did stop. I saw it on the live stream, and this person said, well, they can be edited. I says, live streams can't be edited. I mean, they might be able to be edited after, but I was watching them during the live stream. It's just, you're not going to edit it on while you're streaming it live. You know, you just can't do that. It's physically impossible. And this person argued with me, and I said, well, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. And that's the way I left it, and we never discussed it again. I guess that's a right to believe in that, but the truth is, the fact is, down in Ottawa, it was peaceful too. There might have been the odd person that tried to disrupt it, but they got escorted out when they found out. And the other thing, this person said, well, Chris Barber is a KKK person. Well, he did admit in the past that he did do that, but he doesn't feel that way now. And you know what? All I can say is everyone has a past. Everyone has something that they'd rather no one know about. One of my last podcasts, I talked about some shame from my past where I was fired from a job and I was made to look like a criminal, and I really wasn't. But you know what? You second guess yourself, right? And that happens. So yeah, everyone has a past. Some people are not so proud of it, but they learn from the past, and that is key. I'm not going to hold his past against him. He started a fire under the whole country and united the whole country. I have to give that man credit. He gave hope to Canadians when Canadians didn't have any hope anymore. Not only that, we had people from all cultures, from all skin colors, from all walks of life joined together, and it was like we were one country. And I'm sorry, I have tears when I think about that. I try to fight back tears from it because it was so beautiful if you saw that side of it. I don't cry about stuff for myself so much, or have a hard time doing it, but when I see things like that, yeah, I want to cry. And I remember sitting there like, oh my gosh, I got tears again. And my husband always made fun of me with stuff like that, and because like the sappy movies and stuff, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna make fun of me. And I'd be drying my tears, but I was crying because of the unity back then. It was beautiful, and you can't, if that didn't touch you, then I question your emotional level because it was beautiful. Anyhow, moving on. If you guys get a chance, I really encourage you guys to go and even just take in a few hours. The last weekend, we went zipping down to the Sask-Manitoba border. It was a good 4.5 hour drive. We got there and we were there for 3 hours, and then got down there. We took in the Cowboy Church, and we got to meet a lot of people, and we were only there 3 hours, and we wanted to cry. We didn't know anyone going there, and we wanted to cry. Today I go to Lloyd, not expecting to know anyone, and all of a sudden I hear this, Shannon! I look over and I go, and it's someone from church camp. And it was like, great, Didn't expect that. Got to meet a whole pile of new people, including the lady that made this shirt, and I'm going to post her name just at the end, so that if you guys want one of these wonderful, fantastic shirts, you guys can get one. I met her. I might have her on in a few weeks and interview her and see what her experience was, because she was there a lot longer than I was. She's been there for several days helping out with that. And do go. And you don't have to bring any lunch. You can camp there. Or most of the sites you can camp. I don't want to speak for all of them, but I know the Saskatchewan ones, you can camp. Like the two borders. They have meals. Like the one lady I was talking to, she says she packed up the camper, got there, and hasn't had to use any of the food. And a lot of people were going in and volunteering and helping. They had bouncy castles today. Saw someone contributing by going around doing garbage, picking up garbage and stuff like that. It was super, super awesome. So I am going to show you a few pictures now. Okay, here's one shot. This was looking to the east from where we were at the Lloyd location today. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell how many people we have, but it was kind of really cool when you lined up and you look both ways, and there was all these vehicles backed in with flags all over them. It was great. Yep, some of them were hanging upside down. One thing I did learn now with this is when you hang a flag upside down, that means it's a country in distress. It's not what some people thought was dishonorable to the country. No, hanging a flag upside down means country is in distress. And we are definitely in distress with this carbon tax. Okay, this is looking the other way. So this is looking to the west. And yeah, that wonderful black sign that someone made so much money on, but we're not going to really look at that. But yeah, as you can see all those flags, and these pictures really don't do it justice because it was so neat to have to see all these flags all lined up. And it was amazing because everyone was honking. Okay, this one was pretty cool. That old guy at the door of the bus, this is his bus. And a nice Métis gentleman. This is his protest bus. And we got to sign that bus. In fact, I think right there is my husband's and my signature right there. We got to sign it. So it was pretty cool. He has everyone signing his bus. So, but this is his protest bus. And he said it cost him $200 a diesel just to get from Saskatoon to Lloyd. So there you go. But I thought that was pretty good of him. A few people were posing in front of his bus for pictures, and that guy's actually signing his name. So I thought that was pretty good. Okay, here is my husband's sign. It's funny how we come up with this. Excuse me here. My throat's kind of dry from the day. We were listening to how it was going down with that guy doing the littering, or guy or lady or whoever it was picking up the litter. The cops came and started roughing this person up, and there was a discussion that night in the live feed about how, the cops are saying it's distracting having the signs out by the highway. Yet we can have garage sale signs, we can have political signs, we can have everything else, but we can't have our protest signs. So my husband and I started discussing, we need a garage sale sign out there. And we started talking about it. And next thing you know, this is what come up. There's a few other things we thought about putting on, but this is what we come up with. So garage sale, JT selling out Canada. WEF has highest bid so far. We got a few looks on this side. They thought it was good. So it was a winner. We actually even took it on the slow roll. We went on the slow roll. That was kind of cool. It was a little bit hard and windy, so we stuck it out the window and tried to keep it going, but it just, we had a good time, but it was really hard to keep that sign steady enough and be able to keep it so that, it was, people could actually read it. But yeah, kind of cool. We'll have to make another one so we can, or some sort of sign that we can put on right on the windows of our Suburban or something, so people can see it. Hey, yeah, I have a big pig that takes up a lot of gas. And then I'll just show you my sign. I mean, it wasn't fantastic compared to my husband's, but carbon makes plants grow. Plants make O2 you breathe. Axe the tax and stop the lies. So that was mine. Okay, so before you guys just dismiss this, I want you guys to check up the nationwide protest for carbon tax on Facebook. Join it and find out information in your area and go. So do that and you'll not regret it, even if you can only go down for a few hours. And if you're local in the area of one of those, okay, after work, go spend an hour or two with them and wave some flags, wave at some people going by. You'll be amazed at how many people actually honk. Probably 80% of the people are honking when they go by because no one wants to pay the extra money. No one wants to pay that extra tax. And what's it going to? We're not getting anywhere near back the revenue that we've paid in for that tax, even though they say we are. So, and now we have people that are going to food banks, people that are living in cardboard houses. People can't afford, people are affording less and less and less. And if this continues, people are going to start starving to death and freezing to death in the winter and everything else. So it goes on every level. And then there is GST on top of that tax. So there's a tax on top of a tax. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not a whiz at that kind of stuff, but there is lots of information on that available if you just look. And just so you know, my part 2 is coming on the self-victimization, and I will have that ready and released soon. So this is Saturday night that I'm actually recording this, and I'm releasing this sometime on Sunday. So if you have time this week, go and protest, because they are not leaving and the protests are starting to grow. So go have fun, go meet a few people, and be there, because this affects everyone in the country. Have a great day and see you next time.